A little less than a week before Fahkumram is dropping, the latest Season 2 DLC character, IGN got an early access look at the character, and they've released their video. I want to take a first look at it, react to it, and do some analysis on the moves, because I fought against Fahkumram in Tekken 7, and I want to see what's the same and what's different, and what can we expect. Before we start the video, I just want to let you know that if you're excited for Fahkumram, or if this is, if you're new to Tekken, don't let my opinions or negative opinions about the character sway you away from Fahkumram. If this is a guy, I have friends who are really looking forward to him coming out, and they're looking forward to abusing a lot of the stuff that I will likely be complaining about. So don't take any of it too seriously. I just want to give my honest take as a longtime Tekken fan of what I think this character is going to be. And I know IGN has a reputation, but Mitchell Saltzman, the guy who is covering this, tends to do a really good job with fighting game content. He does a lot of in-depth homework. He pays attention to a lot of the details, and I generally have really enjoyed his coverage of characters in the past. All right, so let's do a reaction first and then analyze the gameplay after.
The latest entry to Tekken 8's roster is the thunderstruck Muay Thai legend Fahkumram, a returning character that made his debut as a DLC character in Tekken 7.
Oh, it's the new Pac-Man stage against Azucena.
A very lanky fighter with great range, powerful strikes, and comparatively simple inputs and execution.
Okay, back one counter hit gives that guaranteed follow-up. He does his hell sweep, and there's it looks like with the install, the hell sweep has an animation after he hits the second hit. Okay, back one again, counter hit.
Go over his best moves, punishes, and take a look at
they both have a running knee, approaching running knee move. Okay, down forward 2-3, the combo. Okay.
First off, just a few little interesting tidbits about the character. He is once again mocapped by
Does he have to do all that?
fighter and kickboxer Nadaka Yoshinari, who also happens to be the martial arts master of longtime Tekken producer.
If you missed the Bandai Namco showcase, this little clip was most of what that was.
I was told that apparently they went into the mountains of Thailand to find a monk in a temple to draw Fahkumram's tattoos. So obviously,
that's pretty cool.
Was a big point that the developers wanted to hit with this character.
Right, and before we get to gameplay, I do want to say that like having a Thai character with a lot of authentic representation for the Muay Thai martial art, I think that's pretty cool and pretty important.
Gameplay wise, before we go into his notable moves, let's quickly cover his Garuda Force buff, which is a buff gained by landing one of the following: his down forward 1-2, forward forward 1+2, the last hit of back 4-3-2.
Okay, so some of these are his parry.
You just have the buff automatically.
So some of these buffs are at the start of a combo, and some of these buffs are in the middle of a combo, right? So like down forward 1-2, obviously not a combo, but forward for 1+2, giving the buff means you could spend the buff in the combo too.
The last hit of
the subtitles are in the way of the inputs. I'll just turn them off for now. This also, this one is going to be a combo ender, right? So he has the buff for the next interaction. Punch parry. I wonder if they took away his old punch parry in Tekken 7. So this animation where he does the punch parry like this was a kick parry where he raises this. So this was a kick parry in the last game. He had a punch parry before that was a full launcher. He like does a flip kick like on his hand. He does like a handstand into a flip kick. I wonder if they took that out.
You just have the buff automatically. When he has this buff, Fahkumram gains a couple of new strings.
Okay, there's his sweep, 45 damage with the buff. Okay, that doesn't launch. That used to be his old rage drive in Tekken 7. Sorry, I keep talking over him. Let me listen.
He can also do this when he fully charges either his tornado kick or his erupting knee.
Okay.
Basically, if they're blocked, he enters his Rama stance where it's time for the opponent to guess. In this stance, he can do an unsafe low, a safe mid-string that jails,
a
+1 on block mid.
Interesting. So the guard break is a stance now.
Slow but interruptible and blockable.
It's no longer a guaranteed hit. Weird. And does it spend his buff right as he does it? I think it said it spends his buff, right? Let's take a look.
Automatically. When he has this buff, Fahkumram gains a couple of new strings, including his old rage drive from Tekken 7.
Yeah, old rage drive. So you see, Mitchell Saltzman knows what he's talking about.
He can also do this when he fully charges either his tornado kick or his erupting knee.
Okay, so I think it does spend the buff because his lightning goes away.
He enters his Rama stance where it's time for the opponent to guess. In this stance, he can do an unsafe low, a safe mid string that jails,
Okay.
a +1 on block mid,
So
a slow but interruptible.
this is not so bad in that
and a throw.
it's a guess rather than guaranteed hit. What I don't like is that the animation is probably going to take so much time, you know? I feel like Tekken 8 puts you in a lot of cutscenes that take a lot of time, that kind of pause the gameplay.
Fahkumram can now feint and cancel them by holding forward, or use a homing attack out of them and try to catch the sidestep by holding
That looks like a homing mid. There's his old kick parry. So he has the kick parry and a punch parry. It looks like the same parry for kicks and punches, right? You saw the animation here. This is homing mid. Jeez, that's a mid for sure. Yeah, so this parry is going to be kicks and punches, I think, and a different effect happens. This is what he had before, a kick parry that wall splats, but now it looks like the punch portion just gives him the buff.
Starting off with 3+4, a returning favorite. This is just a really chunky 18-frame mid that knocks down on regular
Track sidestep left, not sidestep right.
Stuns the opponent for a full combo. It tracks to the right and is safe on block at -9.
They made it safe again. In the latest patch of Tekken 7, it's -11, so they made this a safe counter hit launcher again.
Forward 3 is a new 21-frame advancing load that is +4 on hit, tracks to the right, and is -14 on block. From crouch down forward.
So a new advancing low tracks the same way as 3+4, so it's not opposite tracking, which is nice. But
Forward 2 is another low hit.
power low is crazy.
This time with 19 frames of startup. That leaves him at +4 on hit and is -14 on block.
-14 again.
Hit, it knocks down and gives you a guaranteed forward 1+2 follow-up, which is a great way to get his Garuda force charge.
The cheap part about this low is that he's crouching, right? So he can go under like jab keep out.
And is -14 on block. On counter hit, it knocks down
and giving him the buff and shit.
Forward 1+2 follow-up, which is a great way to get his Garuda force charge. Down 4 is a faster low at 14 frames that will transition into a throw if it hits as a counter.
Okay, so he had this before.
That added power comes with risk,
-15,
though,
yeah.
It is launch punishable at -15 on block. Back forward 4 is a returning 18-frame high kick that is core to Fahkumram's kit. It causes a crumple even on normal hit, is +6 on block, and as an extra bonus, it also armor breaks, which means that you cannot power crush through it. It can be ducked, of course, and launch punished, but nevertheless, this is a very scary move.
So in Tekken 7, in the trailer, it was a power crush. It never came out that way, but this move is insane. In Tekken 7, it was also pseudo homing, so it didn't have the homing trails, but a guy did a top-down view and had, like, I think it was Lily sidestepping, and this move was effectively fully homing.
Bonus, it also armor breaks, which means that you cannot power crush through it. It can be ducked, of course, and launch punished, but nevertheless, this is a very
It does chip.
Move. Forward 4 is a 25-frame axe kick that is +3 on block and +14 on counter hit.
+14 on counter hit.
One or other 14-frame follow-up. It's worth noting at this point that
wait, was his standing 3 now 14 frames?
Other 14-frame follow-up.
No, it's 13 frames still. His standing 3 is still 13 frames. So he's a 13-frame mid poke and a mix-up still.
One of Fahkumram's weaknesses is that his attacks are generally pretty slow on startup.
Is that true? Is a slow startup really what we're calling this?
+3 on block and +14.
Is that really?
Which lets you get either a free back 1 or.
Because this is a 13-frame mid, and you see how long his leg. Is that what we're calling slow?
It's worth noting at this point that one of Fahkumram's weaknesses is that his attacks are generally pretty slow on startup.
Is that true?
For example, most characters have a 13-frame down forward 1 as a quick mid poke after the opponent blocks a + on block move. Fahkumram's down forward 1 though is 15 frames.
Okay. So this was a nerf we were really paying attention to in the trailer because his down forward 1/4 is a heat dash launcher. If he spends the heat, he gets a full combo. So now they've nerfed his down forward 1 to 15 frames, but he still has a 13-frame standing 3. So
just keep that in mind.
Is that true? Standing 3 is what you use.
Forward 3 is a pretty standard running attack that allows you to close the distance.
Has 3 active frames. It's not just a standard running attack. Anyways.
Keep the advantage even if it's blocked. This one is +6 on block and on hit gives you a +15 knockdown. It's fairly linear though and can be sidestepped both ways. Down forward 3 is another far-reaching low. This one has 20 frames of startup, is -1 on hit, and -13 on block, but it has a fake out by pressing down forward 3-3, faking low and instead going mid.
Yo, why does he have that?
Knockdown. It's
So
linear,
he
though,
has the new advancing low
and can be sidestepped both ways.
that's plus on hit.
Down forward 3 is a
He has this old one that he had before, and now it cancels into a mid.
low. This one has 20 frames of startup, is -1 on hit, and -13 on
I'm trying to
block,
look at the
but
animation.
it has a fake out by
See if it's
pressing down
really
forward
like.
3-3,
I think you could
faking low
legit get
and
faked out by
instead
that if you're not fuzzying.
If the second kick hits, it will knock down and
And it's tracking?
faking low and instead going mid. If the second kick hits, it will knock down.
Now he steps right, which is what the other moves are tracking, so we got to see step left, but
Follow up. And if it's blocked, it's +2.
it's +2 on block.
Sidestep both ways.
Okay.
Fake out tracks to the right.
Okay, but what about to the left? Okay, so we've seen tracking to the right consistently, but we don't know if we've seen tracking to the right, but I want to see to the left.
The returning move from Tekken 7.
Bag 3.
This time, it's also a heat engager. It's a 16-frame high roundhouse kick.
It only says tracking to the right, so it is left. It has to be. I'll cope with you, bro.
Safe on block at -7, and also will wall stun. Up forward 2 is one of Fahkumram's power crushes.
Safe high
It is
power
18
crush.
frames, high, sidesteppable in both directions, but
Okay.
safe on block at
It's the
-7.
Brian move. That's Brian's forward 1+2.
Forward 3+4 on the other hand.
Oh, he has a new mid. He has a new mid power crush.
Forward 3+4 on the other hand is a mid, but is slower at 22 frames of startup and is -14 on block.
Okay.
Next is down forward 1, which is a move that we somewhat touched upon earlier.
No character coming out now has like a normal down forward one. We're in the great poke recession. Every character, Lars got his down forward 1 nerf to -3.
It's on the slower side as far as down forward ones go at 15 frames.
Pokes are
but it is
in
only
shambles.
-3 on block, and also has 2 very notable follow-ups in down forward 1-2, which is -13 on block, but will grant a Garuda Force charge if it hits, and down forward 1-4, which is a heat engager that is safe on block at -5.
Yeah, down forward 1-4 is the
On
launching
his heat engagers, which
heat
are
dash.
forward 1+2, a 21 frame safe mid that can be sidestepped in both directions.
Okay, linear, we like that.
3,
Oh, but that's... Why did I celebrate? It's the Anna Williams thing. He is the heat engaging safe mid,
safe mid that can be sidestepped in both directions.
and then he has the complementary homing high. Right? So it's like, it's the same thing. It's the 50-50 of 50-50 season 2 neutral. Homing high, linear mid.
Punishing heat engager. And finally,
Wait, he has a 14 frame Punisher that's a heat engager now? Up forward 3?
And finally, there's while standing 1-2.
While standing 1-2? 13 frame heat engager from crouch.
Everything Fok has from 10 frame to 23 frame.
Wow.
At 10 frames, Fahkumram's options are 1-2 and 1-4.
1-4 is +8. Doesn't spin anymore like it did season 1 or launch of Fahkumram season 4. Season 3?
He doesn't have an 11 frame punish, but for 12 frames, he's got 2-1, 4-3.
This 2-1.
But for 12 frames, he's got
This used to be forward 2-1, I think. Anyways, it doesn't really matter.
4-3 and 4-4. Of the 3 options, you're generally going to want to do 2-1 as it does the most damage and knocks down.
The wall splatting 12 frame punish.
For 13
Every
frame
character has a
punishes,
strong
there's
punish game
3-1,
now.
which leaves you at +7 on hit, giving you some pretty good options to keep your pressure going. For 14 frames,
I'm not
he's got
maining this
3
character, man.
Back 1, which knocks down and gives you a guaranteed follow-up with either forward 3 or forward 1+2, which again gives you a Garuda Force charge. Up forward 3, which is a heat engager, and back 2-1, which does solid damage and knocks down, but doesn't give you a follow-up on the
That used to be forward 2-1, I think. So back 2-1, 14 frame punish.
All 3 of these options
Oh,
also wall stun.
wait. What's his old back 2-1 then?
At 15 frames, your go-to will be down forward 2-3, which is his main launcher. Down forward 1-2 will give him a Garuda charge, and down forward 1-4 will be what you use if you want a heat engager.
Okay.
And if you block something that's super punishable, his 20 frame punisher is up forward 4, which is his hop kick. On the wall standing front,
Delay hop
11
kick?
frame punisher is up forward 4, which is his hop kick. On the wall
I wish they showed
standing
the
front,
inputs on
at
the
11
left.
frames, he's got wall standing 4, which does 20 damage and leaves you at +5. For 13 frames, there's wall standing 1-2, which is a heat engager and wall stuns.
I wonder if that's a heat dash launching heat engager because Dragunov has a 12 frame one. So I wonder if this is 13 frames. They're like, yeah, let's make it launch.
For 14 frames, you've got wall standing 2-4, which can also wall stun, or without a wall, knock down and guarantees a
forward wall. Yeah.
And finally,
I figured.
For 15 frames, there's wall standing 3, which is your traditional launch punisher from wall standing.
In Tekken 7, this was like it put him in the air. It wasn't a crumple stun thing. So weird.
Which is your traditional launch punisher from wall standing.
Shouldn't be that big of a difference.
Always, let's put this all together for a little showcase with some practical.
Here are the combos. We get to see some damage. Yep. More or less looks similar to his Tekken 7 routes with a few differences. 71. Counter hit launch. Safe counter hit launcher. 74. 74 no wall. 74 no wall unoptimized is pretty scary. No heat. 80. Okay. 88 with a heat dash
combo. And that's Fahkumram in Tekken 8. He's a hard-hitting character with great reach and some scary buttons, especially when he's got a
PhiDX combo.
Thanks for
that new low is crazy.
Thanks to Bandai Namco and Alex for taking the time to walk me through this character. For more Tekken 8, make sure to check out our other starter guides for other DLC characters like Eddie Gordo, Lydia, and Anna. And for everything else, keep it here on IGN.
Oh, his heat smash. Okay. All right, so if you played Tekken 7, and if you well, first of all, if you didn't play Tekken 7, I would recommend watching Landon B's Fahkumram recap video, right? He has a few. I went back to Tekken 7 to spam unblockables with Fahkumram. Former Fahkumram main tells you everything about him. I think these videos, this guy legitimately played the character, right? So check out these videos and you'll get caught up to speed. Now, I think the key takeaway from this trailer is that the guard breaks that used to just be wall splat guard breaks now go into a stance. So something I wonder, this animation, does this animation still wall splat? And if so, does the wall splat give a guaranteed follow-up from the Rama stance?
He can do an unsafe low.
Right? This Rama stance is new. And I wonder if the guard break means that at the wall, like it functioned before, you would get a combo. What, in terms of balance, I guess it kind of feels like Lydia's thing. Again, we'll have to play against it to see. But how Lydia forces you into a rock, paper, scissors mix-up whenever she hits something on block, this is basically what that looks like. It looks like nothing guaranteed after. Other thing that I wanted to point out is that I think seeing this animation is going to get really annoying. I think that if you're fighting like a long set against a Fahkumram player and you're constantly getting guard broken and seeing this exact pause to the gameplay over and over, especially because it's probably not going to pause the timer, we just have a lot of situations that are taking people out of the gameplay. And this has been my complaint about the long combos of Season 2, where everybody has like 3 strong aerial tailspins. And a lot of attack throw animations. It's not just a complaint about the competitive side of things where it burns the clock. It's a complaint I have about just wow, I can't even get my thoughts. It's a complaint I have about just how long you spend not being in the gameplay. And not being in the gameplay is frustrating. It makes it harder to learn situations, harder to get more reps. And in general, it just feels like Tekken 8 Season 2 is removing a lot of the interactive parts and just showing a lot of like quick time events or cutscenes, you know, which I'm sure is appealing to some people. But as someone who really enjoys like the fighting game portion of this stuff, I prefer to have more gameplay. So I hope that if this mechanic stays, maybe they can speed this up. You know, we don't have to zoom in on his face, look at it, and then have him walk up. It could really just be guard break right away, take the step, and he's in the stance right now. If we go in the stance right away, then at least the guess is faster. But these pauses to the gameplay are not really doing it for me. Anyways, in terms of other reactions, I guess the unification of the punch and kick parry is probably friendly to beginners. The punch parry giving the buff, the kick parry giving the multiple kicks. The other thing that seems really crazy is this advancing low. This forward 3, not that one. This. It's minus 14, but having easy access to a +4 low on hit to complement his advancing mids and the jet kick and stuff, it seems pretty overloaded. And then giving him a full crouch low as well, that is like a full crouch low that will go under highs, gives the counter hit knockdown. As you know, lows with a counter hit property are really good against power crushes. Power crushes give so you'll get the counter hit. It happens in this trailer. Azucena does a power crush, gets counter hit knockdown by the full crouch low, and then he gets the buff. So yeah, does he still have the full crouch hell sweep? We saw him do the hell sweep. I assume it's available out of full crouch, but they didn't show it specifically out of full crouch. They only showed it out of the cancel, I think. Yeah, and it's an elbow, so it's not low parryable. Now, this is all we have with this is all we can conclude, I think, for this information. Fahkumram will be coming out soon. If you're still watching, I will be out of town when he releases, so I'll just be able to cover the patch notes and his gameplay, but I won't actually be able to get my hands on the character until he releases for everybody around July 11th, because that's when I'll be back home. So anyways, I've rambled about an 8-minute trailer for like 21 minutes, so I appreciate it if you stuck around this long. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed that. Yep, if you're looking forward to the character, I hope you continue to enjoy him regardless of the opinions of me or anybody else in the comments or on the internet. I think it's important to enjoy the game if it appeals to you. That's all I got for you. Catch you in the next one. Peace.